And we're recording. Hi, I'm Lisa Loring, and welcome to my home studio. I bet you've seen a lot of people who have now nice new home studios. I have been a yoga teacher for a lot of years. I did the math, and I've actually been teaching yoga since 2008. I started doing yoga when I was pregnant with my daughter in 1993. So it's what, 2020 now? 2020. And so that means that I have been practicing yoga for at least as old as half of the time I've been alive, and over half the time I've been alive. And I've been teaching for over half that time. I don't know, you do the yoga math. Anyway, so because we're now living indoors and we have a lot going on. Yes, I did yoga as a profession for a lot of time, a lot of years, and it was my main source of income for many, many years. But no matter what is going on in my life, yoga has always been my constant. And I think that's something we're definitely searching for right now, is something that feels constant and regular, reliable. So I'm really grateful for this practice now. And I'm glad I've been doing it for a very long time. So some of you, actually, this might be really new for you, starting yoga, because you're starting to do new things indoors that maybe you wouldn't have thought approaching. So you might not have the equipment. So, or you're wondering about what to get. So I have some recommendations, and so this is the props talk. There's it's like a two-pronged talk. Number one, you'll start to see classes from me more and more that are offered for free. Actually, I'll be offering them free and by donation. You'll get that information in the links and all of that. I would like to be able to give to people what yoga has given me for all of these years, and it's a way to find balance in a way. Especially, it's almost like I feel like I've been training for what's going on now. And I'd like to be able to give that to you. So, to that point, the props can be a little daunting. And in some of my classes, I teach with a lot of different kinds of props. The props are not a crutch. They are really a way to explore the poses in ways that are correct for your body. Especially if you're brand new to the practice, you don't even really know. So when I call out the props, I want you to use them. And you should feel comfortable using them. Doesn't mean that you can't do it or you're cheating or anything like that. It means that you're trying to work your way into the pose in the best way that's possible for you while you keep breathing, because really, the breath is the most important part of the practice. So in the classes that you take with me, I'll always cue a tremendous amount of breath. In fact, 99% of the time, I'll tell you to breathe and then move into the pose. I'll also tell you to breathe while you're moving between poses. So, in order to breathe in the shapes, and yoga is part of the beauty of yoga is that it puts you into postures where it makes it really difficult to breathe. Welcome to life as we know it now. That's the beauty of yoga. It teaches you to breathe no matter what you're doing, no matter what I tell you to do. And it helps you to begin to inform your own way of doing things. And that's where the props come in. So if you don't have the right kind of props, that's not a problem. I will always cue a lot of different ways for you to use things that don't look like this. Now this is simply a yoga mat that I did one of my teacher trainings years ago, back in 2012. This is a yoga mat that's folded up lengthwise. So you fold it from end to end. Let's see, I've got a prop here that is in the way. So you just fold it up end to end. If you have an old one laying around, or you want to just get a cheapy one, like a $5 one or something, and then you just roll it, all the way until it gets like this. And then I've attached rubber bands and things, but you can also use duct tape or packing tape. That's also fine to create this kind of prop. If you don't have this kind of prop, not a problem. Don't worry about it. You can use a rolled up blanket or a pillow or anything like this. And we use these kinds of props in the style of yoga I practice and teach. It's called forest yoga. as a way to use things over the, you can use things that I'll ask you to do over the belly. Maybe you'll put it between thighs or something like that. We use them in like abdominal practices and things like that. Hi, Sophia. Sophia has made an appearance. So you can use those kinds of things, all kinds of different things. Get resourceful for what's around you. You don't have to go out and buy special stuff. Not necessary. But some of the things I do recommend that you might want to purchase is the foam blocks and or a cork block. So these guys are really, really important. And I really like the heavy cork blocks for some of the work, like if we do bridge pose, which is, you know, you're laying on your back, you lift your hips up, and then you'll put this maybe behind the sacrum. This is really solid for, you know, being able to feel something solid resting your body on. It's also really solid for if you go into a, you know, balancing half moon shape, right? I'm wearing my slippers. So if you do go into balancing half moon, you know, something a little more sturdy like this kind of block or something with this kind of weight. Maybe it's a, like War and Peace or something like that. You know, some really hefty, weighty kind of thing that's about this thickness that you wouldn't mind setting your body on. Maybe it's a stack of books. That's fine too. You know, get resourceful. Use what you've got, right? Now, the other prop I really like are the foam blocks. And as you can see, I did the Essential Yoga program with doTERRA a few years ago. Excellent stuff. But at any rate, they gave us these foam blocks, and this actually is one of my very favorite ones. So this, I like the width of this one as well because, you know, this can be that prop between the thighs that you could use if you want. And it's also, again, a little sturdier, so if you go into a balance pose of any sort, it's just got a little wider base than some of the more narrow ones. Now, okay, so what? You've got the narrow ones. You're like, oh, do I have to go? No, you don't. I would just put them together, put a loop, you know, some kind of a rubber band or, again, packing tape. Totally fine. Just go for it. Do you need a yoga mat? No, you might not. In fact, I think I practiced without one for a number of years, almost like 10 years before I even got one. Maybe not that many, but at any rate, I do like yoga mat. I do, but is it completely necessary to start a practice? No. Find your way. Find what's right for you, okay? I do like a blanket though, blanket or pillow, because oftentimes I'll sit on one to have my hips up a little higher, and or use it as a prop under my hip for other, you know, for various kinds of things, or a prop under my knee, right? And it's nice and soft. Sometimes maybe a little bit under the ankle, depending on what kind of practice I'm teaching. So that's another option. Not really an option, but I would definitely make sure you have a blanket or pillow. And then the strap. So, you know, and like I said, so you figure out what's right for you in terms of your yoga mat. Like I said, you can get like, I don't know if Five Below is online, is doing stuff online, but I bet you can like find $5 yoga mats online. And that's a great place to start. It's a totally great place to start. But if you want to go ahead and make an investment, Jade is obviously one of the best ones. Hugger Mugger have the good, really good ones. And I practiced on one last night that was made by Gorilla. I don't know, it was a pretty good mat. Anyway, I don't know how much they are, but that's that. The other thing that you will be called out to use during a class is a yoga strap. And it has like this double, these have these like kind of D loops, right? This one's an extra long one. So if you go to the bother of buying one, I would get an extra long one, just err on the side of extra length. You'll just have extra strap, that's fine. If you don't want to buy one, then use a scarf, right? Use a scarf, use a belt, use a pashmina or something like that. You know, something along those lines is totally fine. You can get really, really creative with it. It doesn't need to be like this. If it is something that you can knot up or does have a belt, you know, a buckle, that's extra. And but you can definitely get around this. All right. So that's pretty much the props talk. So, and a little bit about what I'm doing. So I am going to be offering my classes for donation. You'll start to see all of these classes online. So follow me on Instagram. Follow me on pretty much Instagram and YouTube. I don't do Facebook, and I'm not on Twitter and all of that stuff. But yeah, you can just follow me on Instagram and follow me on YouTube. on my YouTube channel, where you found me here, and you will get live classes. There will be one offered every day in very varying styles, and yeah, it's going to be great. I thank you very much and look forward to seeing you.